In this exercise, to draw the spatula base, we will be using style spline, slots and variable fillets. So to start the drawing, File New, Part, OK. So on the front plane, draw a sketch, and I'll start with midpoint line. So drawing the following shape. Now adding a few measurements. Five millimeters. With the angle 60 degrees. .105 length, and I'll give this angle here 45 degrees. And the measurement from here 2 millimeters. So the sketch now is fully defined. So accept the sketch, and in the features commands we'll extrude. And once again we'll extrude it by a length of 105 and mid plane. So that's the outline of the base for the minute. On the undersurface we draw another sketch, and we will start with a centre line going through the origin. The sides of the spatula are curved, so to draw that curve we will use the style spline, and I will start the style spline off away from my main drawing, and I will give it 5 points. So I click on 5 points there, and you can see the spline drawn there. Now I will drag these points down into position, and as you can see here I'm giving you can see the relation here being added. Dragging the points down. Now I will give a tangent relation between the curve and the end as shown. So there's a tangent relation there, and we can see here we still have a certain amount of movement, so we can still modify our curve. And now I will add a few measurements. So selecting the S key to get the commands up, Smart Dimension, and the measurement here of 35 millimeters. And this end 27. And I will just give it a few extra measurements. 35 from the origin to the fourth point, and once again I'll give 35 millimeters the distance from the origin to the second point. Now, a certain degree of movement, and I'm happy enough with that curve, so selecting the curve, right click and fully define the sketch. Selected entities, that is the style spline, calculate, and so we can see now the sketch is fully defined. Accepting the sketch, going to extrude cut, and accept through all. And now the curve on the side of the spatula is created on the top face there. Now to mirror, we need to mirror that about the front plane to create the curve on the other side. And there now we have the base part started. The next thing that we have to do is the stem. So to draw the stem, I need to create a plane, and I will select this face, and I need the plane to be touching this top edge here, and it need to be perpendicular, and as you can see here now that it is perpendicular. So accepting that, so there's plane 1 now created. So drawing a sketch on plane 1, normal 2, and we can see here we're drawing it on the back there. And once again we're starting with the center line, and now we draw a line, and we add a few measurements. .5 millimeters, and the length 155, .120. Now the next thing we need is we need a spline. Joining that point with this point, and then looking at it from an angle we can see clearly the points in question. So now adding a tangent relation between the spline and the line. Same again, tangent relation between the curve and the spline. So happy enough with that, we'll use the mirror entities to mirror the following. So 2 lines in the spline, and we mirrored about the centre line. Now the sketch is almost complete, apart from closing it. We need to select the bottom edge here to close the sketch. So select that line and convert entities, and that closes that sketch. So that sketch is drawn on the plane 1. Now we need to draw another sketch similar to that on the underside. So accepting the sketch, we need to draw another plane parallel to plane 1, but going through the bottom edge. And it jumped to perpendicular, so we'll click back and make it parallel. So now when we have that plane 2 shown here, we will just hide plane 1 in case it interferes with our drawing. So plane 2 is shown there. Once again, on plane 2, we're drawing the sketch. And we can use convert entities to select the following lines to transfer those lines onto our new sketch. And then we select the spline, and we join the spline. And be careful here to select the appropriate or the correct point. Spline again. And now, as before, a tangent relation. And once again, a tangent relation between the curve and the spline also. And the same on this side. Tangent. Tangent. And to close the sketch, convert entities. So now we've got the sketch on both planes, plane 1 and plane 2. So I will hide that plane as well. Accept the sketch. And now we use boundary boss space and to fill in the handle. And there now is the stem attached to the base, and the handle will fit onto the stem later on. So using fillets, first of all I will add a 2mm fillet to this edge. Accept that. I will select fillets again, and this time I will add a variable fillet on this edge and the one shown there, and I will double click here and change this to 1mm at the front, and the same here. Double click, change that to 1mm as well. So the variable fillets can be changed on the screen here. Accept that, and I suppose I can add another fillet, a 2mm fillet to the stem, the top face of the stem there and there. almost complete. So now we have to put in the slots. So on the underside again, draw another sketch. And once again I'll start off with a center line. And we will select the slot command. Now, looking at the slot command, we can see here there's two types of straight slots and two types of curved slots possible. So selecting the slots, now on the straight slots, the point 1 to select the center of the semicircle on the left, point 2 to select the center of the semicircle on the right, and point 3 will give you the width of the slot. Alternatively, if you want to select the center of the slot for point 1 and then point 2 for the position for the center of the curve and point 3 for the width. But I'll go with the first one here. So point 1 selected anywhere there, left click for point 2 and click for point 3. Another slot, and I'll put in a third. So using the slot command, the slots are created very quickly. So adding a few relations, and I'm adding a vertical relation between those 3 point 1s. And selecting the first 2 slots now, and we can see here on the left hand side equal slots, so I'll make those 2 equal. That is equal in size and equal in length. Accept that, and select the first one and the last one, and I will make them equal as in radius. So now if I drag out the second slot, the first slot maintains the same length. Adding a few measurements. The distance from the slot to the center line, 3 millimeters. The radius of the slot, 2.5. The spacing between each slot, 6 millimeters. And the length, give it 68, and the one at the end, 58. Now the distance between the center of the slot and the end, we'll give that measurement 15 millimeters. So using mirror entities, we'll click on the first, second and third slot and mirror about the center line. The slots now are created on the underside. We'll accept that, extrude cut through all. So now we'll add a few fillets here, a 2 millimeter fillet. So on the first, so clicking on the edge of the slots, zooming in here. and accept that. So the only thing left to do is to give it an appearance, and we'll go with plastic, medium gloss, and there now is the spatula base created.